Hi there, welcome, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Jason Scholder, and this is Learning to Fail. People are complicated, and I know a lot of complicated people. Two of those people are Kreye and Dale Krupla. Kelly is a comedian and filmmaker. Dale is a filmmaker and hilarious. They've been traveling the country, taking in local comedy scenes and interviewing local comedians. I was lucky enough to be included in their project when they passed through Asheville. You can watch it on their YouTube channel, Dave Made Me Do It. Before we roll today's interview, I want to say how grateful I am to everyone who has subscribed to Learning to Fail and downloaded the episodes currently available. Numerous people have written to say they felt like they were right in the room with us. That is precisely the way I want these conversations to feel. I still marvel at the fact that people are willing to take time out of their lives to talk to me, much less listen. The fact that so many of you have been motivated to take the additional step of writing to me is truly humbling. So thank you. I will do everything in my power to keep bringing you an experience that is at once personal and engaging. Learning to Fail podcast is my avenue for expanding the way I think and the things I think about. If you like what you hear, please tell your friends about Learning to Fail and encourage them to tell theirs. Take a moment to rate us on iTunes and check out our website for additional information about each of the people we interview. While you're there, please visit our donate and Amazon pages. Each page will give you clear instructions on what to do. For the time being, we are a completely donation-based podcast, so all of our episodes are being brought to you by you. Our donation page will allow you to make one-time or recurring donations. Our Amazon portal enables you to support the podcast without spending any extra money of your own. Please bookmark our Amazon page and start your shopping there every time you visit or buy anything on Amazon. The most helpful thing you can do is simply to listen to the podcast and encourage others to do the same. The world will be a better place when we can all start learning to fail together. Let's have breakfast with Kelly Kreye and Dale Krupla, the two-man crew of Dave Made Me Do It.
Yeah, today's kind of like an editing.
You guys can, I mean, if you need to work or do anything, if you want to like set up here, you can also do that.
I want to show you the little editing suite we have in the bag of the.
Oh yeah, I'm totally excited to see that. Yeah,
it's excellent.
Yeah, no, that'll be awesome.
It's quite the setup.
So what happened last night? It sounded like it was funny. The text exchange was hilarious.
It was great.
Yeah.
well, Kelly was in charge of the text exchange, so I'll let you take the lead on the.
Okay, so what we did, we went to the brewery, which was
Burial Brewery.
Never been there. Never even heard of it.
Which was great. They have a mural of Tom Selleck and Sloth, which we saw that, and I was like, that's the place we need to be.
All right.
So we went there, and we had a couple beers to kill some time before the show. Mm-hmm. Then we went to the show at...
The Block
off Biltmore. And it was cool. It was like, that's what we've only been on the road now for like 3 days, but we've been so spoiled because there was like 20 people in the room, and I was like, what a light crowd. You know what I mean? But in New York, like that would have been a packed room.
Oh, you're saying like...
The number of people. But the space was so big. We're used to doing comedy in basements.
Oh, I see.
It was a very big space.
Yeah.
And also, the fact that the show was going on at the Mill Room, I think, took a lot of the people that go to that show away.
Some. It's a different group.
Yeah.
People who go to the Mill Room are generally people who can afford to pay for comedy. Mm-hmm. People who go to the Block or any of the other open mics, those are people who probably don't want to pay for comedy. Like, they just want to... Some of them are like huge fans of the local comedy scene, so they're there, and others of them, are just looking for something to do tonight, and others of them, love comedy but don't want to spend money. So.
Yeah, well, there was one couple that was standing at the podium when I was standing there talking to Michelle, and they actually said, "Yeah, we tried to get into the Mill Room, but it was sold out."
Oh, really?
So
okay. Well, so then I'm happy to be wrong about that. Well, I mean, I'm how do I say that? I don't mind being wrong.
No, you're probably right. That was just the one experience.
That's so maybe there's more of that than I realized. Just typically, just because I work the door at the Mill Room, and I never see those people come to the open mics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so those are all like a different crowd of people. I almost never see them when I perform.
Mm.
So,
but yeah, we did the show. Michelle was great.
and I figured she would be. She's a great person.
Yeah, super welcoming. And then we did an interview with her afterwards, and she was just awesome. She like totally open hearted and giggly and fun in front of the camera. And
Yeah, we got a little
I've
bit.
never seen her like that, so I look forward to seeing.
I was like, we did a little dance.
Yeah, she was very reserved, but like I could feel that the energy was down in the video, and so like I got them to dance a little bit. Kelly came up, and it was very loose. We got like a little bit of the history of comedy in Nashville, went back like 12 years.
Yeah, she would know that way more than I do.
And that was very cool to hear how it's grown, and then how big what was the festival called? I'm sorry.
Laugh Your Asheville.
That's it.
Yeah.
So to hear how that has grown, and also like how the clubs have gotten bigger in Nashville, and it was also cool to kind of drive by the Orange Peel on accident. What's their slogan? It's like a pleasure den or something.
Well,
like
it used to be like I think it used to be a gentleman's club. You know, like
all right,
like it
that
was
makes sense.
something in social club.
Yeah.
Who knows? It was probably a clan collective at one point. You know, I mean, like this is the South. Who knows what was there?
Yeah.
I was just shocked. In reading it, I was like, that's got to be a strip club. And it's called the Orange Peel, right?
Yeah. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, could have been.
Could have been.
Pretty big for a strip club, though.
Yeah.
I mean, because there is a strip club in Asheville, at least one. I don't go to them, but I drive past it. It's called the Trophy Club, and it is just exactly what you expect. I mean, it's a piece of crap on like a road that gets flooded by the river every 100 years, and, you know, and like it's just awful. Like it's as awful as you would imagine a strip club in this area to probably be. That's what that place looks like, and that's just from the outside. I haven't been inside. I can't imagine it gets better once you get inside.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Just like
I don't know, but yeah.
They need to bring the trophy up to the top of the podium.
Yeah, it's the third place trophy.
Yeah.
So that's not. I can't take originality for that. I heard Stephen Wright say that. He's like, a friend of mine has a trophy wife, but I'm pretty sure she was in first place.
So great. So great. And then
we ran into a bunch of Santas yesterday.
oh yeah, that happened.
So we were walking. We were trying to get some
Establishing shots
for the show. Like it's important to see Kelly in the city. You know what I mean? And also we get in the city when we go and shoot that stuff. And we ran into these two people. Like the one girl was dressed like an elf. The other guy was dressed like a black and white Christmas movie. He was like all in silver and everything. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, 70 Santas are going to show up in 30 minutes. And I was like, okay, well, let's hang out and wait for that.
Did you get your picture taken with 70 Santas?
We got
video.
It was out of control.
Really?
And they're like,
because they're all hammed up
yeah.
and just like having a great old time.
Yeah.
You know? So we set the camera up and then you've been to the park there where there's like the 3 big steps.
Kind of by the yacht club. It's like that little square park that's downtown.
There's so many little parks. Which by the yacht club?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's Pritchard Park. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
So there's 3 steps there in the back, and it was just filled with them because they're getting a group photo. Dale has the camera set up. I'm standing in front of it, just going like, Asheville, North Carolina, right? And then I go to walk towards him, and I turn and look, and there's like 5 women in the front who are calling at me like, come here. I was like, what? So then I go towards them, and then I turn around, and they're all cheering behind me, and I'm like, Asheville, and they run and grab me, and like,
They like mob him.
mob me.
Really?
Oh, it's so beautiful.
And I'm trying to find focus, and so I only have the shot from like as they're on him, and he's
That's
like,
all right. That can be out of focus. I don't think that matters. You know?
Yeah.
It was,
You know, for the nature of this project you guys are doing, I think all the kind of, and this is, you guys, we ate, so this is all you.
keep going.
Yeah. Before I have to reheat them again.
Pancakes are great.
yeah.
I'm just saying that into the thing so you get some cred.
Yeah,
If anybody doesn't think that Jason has like any pancake skills,
yeah, that's what I want out there. This is my backup plan.
Comedian and pancake
Yeah.
maker. That's right.
I really don't want every rogue comedian coming through Asheville expecting pancakes.
J-Hop.
J-Hop. Just tell him we sent you, man. Tell him you're making a YouTube special. He'll do whatever. I don't care.
So the Santas happened, and that was so rad. And then just to skip back to the show, at the end of the show, I had a joke and then I forgot it, so I asked Dale like to look at my book, like just kind of as a fun thing.
Right.
He just said like a premise that I had written down, and it was pretty terrible.
Right.
So I was like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna. That's just a premise, and everybody laughed, and I was like, okay, great. And then I remembered a joke that I had. It's quite dirty, so it's fine if I say it.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. And I just asked the audience, like, anybody here eat ass? And that always gets a reaction, like, you know, like people get a little ashamed in a bit, and then they laugh.
They get ashamed. They're like, well, sometimes.
I
wasn't going to tell everyone in this room. I've eaten ass.
I guess.
But there's usually somebody who's really proud of it.
Right.
And there was one guy was like, you know,
yeah,
me, and then what girl laughed. One of the girls laughed.
Yeah, it was the girl in the back right corner.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah. And she's like, he's pointing at himself. I was like, yeah, I'd point at myself too. I love eating ass. I eat all the ass I could. I eat my own ass if I could do it. You know, I'd hang out with my dog and my cat in the morning. We'd just like all spend quality time together. So and then they'll start everybody starts laughing at that, and then some people get disgusted, which is a great mix of the room.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't believe it if some people weren't disgusted.
Yeah.
Like that, you know.
Yeah, you're like, everybody?
Yeah, everybody was into it? No, this didn't happen.
And then what I do is I turn to the audience, and I'm just like, somebody in the audience, and I go, oh, do you wipe your ass after you take a shit? And usually what the person would say is like, yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's what this person did say. And then normally what I say is like, oh, do you do it until it's clean, or are you like me and you just do it till you feel defeated? Right. So, but this girl, but when I asked, what happened was the person was like, I asked the girl, I was like, hey, do you wipe your ass after you take a shit? She's like, yeah, and how did she say? She's like, until it's whistling.
Yeah, she was like, I don't need to wipe. I pinch it off. It's clean.
No, yeah.
She's like, it's pinching clean. And so, of course, we ended up talking to them after the show.
Was that the three sisters?
That was the three sisters.
Okay, it's all coming together.
Three sisters. Without two of the three sisters.
Yeah, two of the three. And this particular one of the sisters might work at that trophy club.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good shot.
She might possibly work at that trophy club. So, because I got off stage, I sat down, she comes over, she's like, I want to talk to you. Yeah. I want to get to know you better.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I watched
right on my lap.
Yeah, she like came straight for the lap move.
She doesn't realize she's not at work right now. She's like, this is my only move.
Yeah, that's what happens.
It's the pole or the lap. Those are the two things I know how to do. I don't see a pole anywhere. Mind if I sit down?
Yeah. So, and then this kid grabs the mic. This random kid.
Right.
Or no, the host was Grayson.
She's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So wonderful.
Yeah.
And
she opened for Louis C.K. when he was here.
Yeah,
that was like her. Like,
how could that not
catapult to dreamland for her?
Yeah.
But she did great. I mean, she rocked the house. She was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That must give you so much confidence after doing something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I also think like, where do you go from there? I was thinking about that with you. Talking about, opening for Dave Attell.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we have, as comedians, we have these moments where everything comes together and we get to do something awesome.
Yeah. And
then it's back to the grind. And it's just like, you think for a second, you're like, oh, I made it. I opened for Louis C.K. or opened for Dave Attell, or I had this experience where I got to meet this guy. And then it's like, as soon as that's gone,
nobody gives a fuck.
No, nobody. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not relevant anymore. You put on your resume and maybe someone will say, oh, well, okay, maybe you're not so bad. I'll give you a guest spot or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But usually what I find is that it comes across as being like pretentious to other comedians.
Right. Then you've got that too.
And the evidence I have to back that up is in San Francisco, they have a message board on their Facebook feed, or a Facebook group. I went there, I was trying to book shows.
Right.
So I was like, hey, I'm in San Francisco, I've been on the road, I was just in Sacramento, I opened for Attell, here's my tape. They took it down. Another comedian posted tape, hey, I'm in town, I'm trying to book some shows, here's my tape. Never took it down.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Because they felt like I was bragging.
So you were just trying to legitimize yourself, right?
I was trying to, get into the scene, be like, I've done this thing.
Right.
That does carry some weight,
Right.
And hopefully will allow you to say like, oh, this is something, we should book him on a show. But instead, it was like, oh, this asshole here is just trying to brag that he...
I had a similar experience. I don't really know what happened, if anything, but I posted on the Denver comedy scene or whatever. And I said, hey, I'm coming to Denver. I'd love to perform. I feel like it's a pretty humble post.
Mm-hmm.
And then I included a clip in case anybody wanted to see it. And I think that seemed more like I was trying to sell myself than trying to humbly get on something, because nobody responded, nobody liked it, nothing did, you know. And now maybe they just don't do that there. Now when I reached out to people individually, everyone was super cool. I got on every show in Denver, you know, like everyone was great there.
Yep, I found the same thing.
But I just thought it was interesting that, you know, I think it's delicate as a comic being perceived by other comics. I don't know what
how
it
you
is.
come across, especially on the internet, because there's no tone, there's no nothing,
Right,
you know.
yeah.
So it comes across as however they want to interpret something that you could emotionally blankly put up.
Right. It might mean nothing in
Yeah.
particular to you, and they're just they're sensitive about it. So
Absolutely. But that's veering off the subject of how the night went. We'll get to
let's get back. I want to get back on track. Yeah. So Grayson opened, and
oh right. So
I've never had a conversation in my life that was linear. So just know we will cover it all. You know?
Wait. I have too many that are not linear, and then they don't.
They don't come back.
Yeah, they
They'll
don't
come
find
back.
any.
No, we got it.
Okay, cool.
I got it under control. And if I don't, fuck it. So.
Yeah. So Grayson, she pops up on stage afterwards and says like, you know, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
And then she's putting her coat on, and then she jumps back on stage because this kid asked her if he can go up and do a couple minutes.
Okay.
So she's like, if you guys want to stick around, there's the person here who wants to get up on stage, and so this guy gets up, has no jokes.
Is he funny at all, or is he
No, he's just talking. He's like, I don't have any jokes.
Just a kid.
And I just want to talk to you guys. And it's like, dude, just get a beer and wander. Like,
You want to talk to you guys?
no, like it's everybody in the room, you know,
Oh.
that had been sitting there watching comedy. So, no, everybody's just like, well, what are you doing? Just come down and chat with us.
Yeah, let's
then.
have a normal conversation, not a one-way.
So then the girl that was sitting on my lap was like, oh, I want to say something. So
No.
Yeah.
This is like the drunk wedding toast when people just everyone suddenly.
That's exactly what it was.
All right, so go ahead.
So she runs up and she starts telling the story, but I think she was on a lot of cocaine. So she was just like rambling and just like blah, blah, blah. But she thought it was hilarious.
Right.
And nobody else did.
Ugh.
And
So
then-
she didn't know she was bombing. She was
No.
too whacked to know that this wasn't working.
Yeah. And then she comes down, and then her sister's there, and they were talking about like how well she had done. And I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then her sister's just giving her like some feedback.
No wonder she thought you killed it. Like, you know, this is her barometer for succeeding on stage. You're the most amazing thing she's seen in her entire life. You know?
Good job, bud. Good job up there, bud.
Ah, that's true. That's true. So her sister was like, you just need to make it a little bit more succinct, but like the get into the details.
So they're totally breaking it down.
Yeah. And then
is
she's
awesome.
like, did you think, like, what did you think? I was like, I think you probably need to get up there about 1,000 times.
Yeah. And tell that exact same story. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can get a fair reading on what needs to be changed.
And do it in 1,000 different towns and just never again in this one.
So, and then,
funny.
yeah, then we did the interview with Michelle, and she was really wonderful. And then we said goodbye, and she's like, what did she say? Don't fuck any weird women. What was it?
She probably was like pretty aware of the.
Well, here's what happened. Kelly divulged that I went on a Tinder date the night before in Nashville, which was very casual, very nothing happened. You know, just a couple drinks. She showed me around. It was great. We went actually to the Yacht Club, which is like a Fiji tiki bar on acid. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I haven't been in there. I've walked by it.
It's the closest thing to a hipster bar I think you can find without going to West Asheville.
Oh, really?
You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Didn't
Yeah.
know
It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So she says to Kelly, so Kelly divulges that information to her. As we're leaving, she goes, "Drive safe, Kelly. Dale, don't go on any dates with any weird women." As we're going out the door, and I'm like, I really thought these roles were going to be reversed on tour. I thought that Kelly would be getting that advice.
When he went on the date, he's just like, oh, man, I didn't think I'd be the one going on the date.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, well,
Who
fair
knew?
enough. And he's like, are you mad? I was like, no, dude, go. Have fun. It's great.
Yeah, those were the parting words.
And, yeah, and then we went to Twin Leaf
No
idea.
Twin Leaf Brewery.
You guys are giving me a tour of Asheville right now.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I've lived here for 12 years. I never leave my house. Like,
Why would you? Look how great this place
Yeah,
well, yeah,
absolutely.
but there's other things going on apparently. So I just drive to where I perform and I come home and I go to where my warehouse is and I come home and
Are you making furniture in the warehouse?
No. That's where I sell my yoga product. I invented this yoga product called the 3-Minute Egg. It's an ergonomic yoga block. That's my life. So yeah,
Dude, you've
I've
hit
had
the mark.
numerous lives. Yeah,
You've hit the perfect thing. That must be the perfect thing.
you'd think I don't have the millions of dollars it takes to market something like that. You know,
Yeah.
so they're all over the world. People use them literally everywhere, but somehow I'm just broke. You know, like.
Do you have a
it's
patent
brutal.
for it?
I have patents. Yeah, I mean, I have trademarks. I have everything. I just invented a new product that's also patented. You know,
So
it's
just
like,
get somebody to buy you, purchase you.
yeah, that would be great. You
Right.
know, but it's harder than it sounds.
Did you go talk to the people at Lululemon or what? Like,
I've talked to all of them. You know?
Yeah?
I mean, I haven't really talked about buying me out. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Is I'm ready to cut it loose so I can pursue comedy and.
Yeah, cool.
You
So
know.
what does the thing do?
Well, you use it. I mean, do you practice yoga at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so you use it in place of a yoga block, so either as support to bridge the gap between you and the floor,
Mhm.
or the best way to use it, maybe I'll give you guys some for your ride, is to lay over. Because, you know, we all hunch over all the time.
Yeah.
And so you just lay in these things, they're super comfortable.
Wow.
And you know, it's heart opening, but it's really good for your back. I mean, like,
It opens your heart
yeah,
or whatever.
I don't fucking talk like that. You know? I'm the yoga teacher who talks like this.
That's
So-
I would take that class.
Yeah. So I can't stand. Once in a while, I'll find myself like legitimately in the moment telling people to set an intention. Like it's, you know, but it has to actually be how I feel. Otherwise, I won't do it. You know, and I'll usually say, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but just for today, you know, set an intention to do this. I'm like, who am I right now? You know. So. But I don't do that stuff unless it's how I feel. You know? I try not to cuss when I'm teaching yoga. I feel like that's not the most appropriate venue for that. I've got a stage for if I want to talk that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm totally casual.
Get in your
and-
fucking first warrior, all right? All right?
Quit bitching and do downward dog.
How's that ass
So,
feel? Let
yeah.
that ass tight. Get it tight. There it is. Nice.
Yeah, so
Well, good for you, man. How did you were just like doing yoga and then
No, I didn't invent it for yoga. I have back pain, so I invented it for my back.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
No doubt.
it was all about just how do I help my back without going to doctors all week long, you know? And this
Wow.
did it. Yeah.
That's my dream.
So-
I wanna invent something.
No, you don't. You want to invent something? Just stop right there.
No, seriously,
It's-
what? Really? The dream of how amazing it is to be an inventor is probably it's completely false, but right?
Well, it's not completely false. It's pretty cool to have invented something that's used all over the world.
Yeah, but
The reality of trudging through the day-to-day to make it something that actually gets utilized, there's no dream there. That's a nightmare. You know? I mean, it's just so hard.
do you think Alexander Graham Bell was like, this fucking telephone? Dude, just like I'm trying to...
I think inventors back then, they weren't trying to make money and support their family. They were like, he was an inventor. I'm not an inventor. I'm just a guy who invented something.
Right.
Like, that's a different thing.
I got you.
Guys like him were like, you know, they're trying to invent something that really matters. You know, the telephone. Like, that's going to change a few more lives than my egg. And so I think at
Well,
that...
that's up for debate.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I shouldn't undersell myself.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's how you sell your product.
It's
Yeah,
like
we
the
have-
wheel, the phone, the internet, the yoga egg.
Let's try it. We'll be the judge of that.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, that's a good point. Instead of like on the 8th day, God created the yoga egg.
So Kelly, what do you think? The phone or the egg? What's the bigger deal?
I don't know. Send me a text. Let me know
Over
what you
the
think.
phone.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that's my life when I'm not doing this stuff. But this is like I can just tell. I had a moment when I was in my warehouse on Friday. I talked to you. We were setting up the interview, and then I got off the phone with you, and I had to call the Southern and book that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so pumped, you know. Like I had an hour to work with the woman who runs my company with me and really for me. And I had said, you know, we'll have an hour to work together. And I spent most of that hour talking to you and talking to the venue. And I was like, this is what gets me excited. I'm so pumped right now. Like what I care about is making sure we have a good shot, like making sure these guys have good sound, you know, making sure that I get to do this interview, which is really cool. Like I was totally pumped about that. And you know, the 12 days of Christmas sale the idea that I liked in the morning, I was like, well, if you don't think it's that great, just forget it. You know, like I just you know, when you reach a point where like the product, I haven't lost my love for the product. I've lost my gumption for doing what it takes every day to make it succeed. And
you can't fake that passion.
No, you can't.
Like to yourself anyway. You can put on a thing and be like, yeah, that's great, but like it's just, yeah.
No, I mean the egg is amazing, and as far as yoga goes and just physical health, like it is a great invention. I'm not gonna say it's the phone, but it's a great invention, and it really the egg gets love letters from people. Like, this has changed my practice. I've come back to the mat. Like, people say things that are unbelievable about this little piece of foam. So people do a very emotional relationship with it. And it's very cool.
That is cool.
So I do, get a lot of satisfaction from that. But at this point, it's just not how I want to be spending my time. So,
like you said, like comedy, you just start to do it, and it's just like, man, it's so amazing.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
And I'm just ready to meet this kind of people, And also, like, it kind of dovetails with what we were talking about in terms of, like, what I'm like when I teach a yoga class. I realized, and I had this realization also, like, in the last 48 hours, I don't want to have to talk a certain way. And as a comedian, I can talk however I want. I will find my audience, and they will find me.
Okay.
But as a yoga teacher, if you talk however you want, you're going to find a pretty small audience. And it's not going to be enough to sustain you as a yoga teacher. And as a yoga product, if you say the wrong thing, people really can lambaste you pretty hard, and the yoga world's very judgmental.
Yeah, which boggles my mind. Like, I go to a yoga studio in Brooklyn, and before I go, the first couple of classes, I would bring a water bottle, but then I forgot it one day, so I had to go buy water, and then I had to pick which water I had to buy, because I didn't want to be the guy that walked in with like a Poland Springs water bottle, because it wasn't classy enough.
Oh God!
For the, you know what I mean? I bought it anyway because it's like, well, that's what I have to buy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah. I once was. I mean, at this point in my life, I don't drink or do drugs, really anything. I don't really. I've done it all. It's fine. It was part of my youth, and it's just not something I need to do anymore. And I remember going on a date once with a yoga teacher, and I ordered ice water. And she's like, "You're going to drink ice water? That's so bad for you." I was like, "You're stoned right now." Like, how are you judging me for drinking ice water? So,
find a way. They'll find a way.
Yeah, I feel like, that's what that world, that's a piece of that world. It's not what that world is, but it's a piece of that world. And it's more in the West. Like, I went to India, I studied yoga in the Iyengar Center, which is like, it's like the Rocky Balboa boxing gym of yoga.
Wow. Like,
that's pure. Mr. Iyengar spent his entire life dedicating himself to perfecting the art of practicing and teaching yoga. And even he died at 95, he was still practicing, still doing headstand. It was supported. He was still doing 15 minutes of headstand every day at 95 years old.
That's amazing.
That's unbelievable. That's the reason he lived to be 95 years old.
Yeah,
so exactly. I went there, and they're really pure teachers there. They're, it's not an easy environment, but...
what do you mean? Like, why? Because they're so disciplined about it? They're very
disciplined, and they're very committed to Mr. Iyengar and his teachings, and that is the only way to practice yoga.
Mm-hmm. And
I will say that 99% of the time when I leave an Iyengar yoga class, I feel better than when I went in. And I feel better all week. A lot of other yoga classes, for me, I've got a damaged body. I go in, I don't necessarily leave feeling better. I might feel emotionally better. I might feel like I had a good workout, but physically my body's like, man, I did something in that class. That wasn't a great idea.
Yeah.
And that's just finding the right practice for you.
Yeah.
So I'm 47. Doing a hardcore vinyasa yoga practice is not in my best interest. That's a part of how I came to invent the eggs, is because when I was in LA, I appreciate you guys interviewing me on my own podcast.
Yeah, this is great.
Strong work, Kelly. Strong work.
Start asking
questions. You flipped it.
Just stop, man. Just answer. Tell stories. So, I lived in LA, and I was doing yoga at the YMCA in Hollywood, and that's where all the out-of-work actresses go, and everybody's so smoking hot in these classes. And I'm like 30, 31, and I had hurt my back in a mountain biking accident, and I get hit by a car, and then I got rear-ended in my car, and then I fell off my mountain bike, and those two things happened really close together, and I was a wreck.
Yeah.
So, trying to piece myself back together, I started going back to yoga classes, and I didn't know the difference between different kinds of yoga. I went to the YMCA because I had a membership.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in the classes was gorgeous. I tried to keep up with them as if that was going to impress them in some way, and I would just hurt myself in these classes. So then I started doing yoga at home, and I with videos, and I discovered the yoga blocks. Like that's how this whole lineage led to me.
Oh, they didn't
creating
have
the
blocks to.
They didn't use blocks,
Right.
Because I mean they could have, but they didn't. And half the people in the room didn't need it. And the teacher might say, if you need blocks, they're in this locked cabinet over here, and I'll ask someone to get a key. It's like we'll call maintenance if you need a block. Like that's how accessible they were.
Yeah.
So I started using blocks in those classes, but I felt really self-conscious because I was the only person using them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, now I'm never gonna get these hot yoga actresses. I might as well just stay home and do yoga where no one can see me. So anyway, all that stuff evolved to me creating my own yoga and back hair product. But
Nice.
so I want to know what happened last night after.
After
the lap dance.
Okay,
So-
well, yeah. So they came. Oh, so they left. We went to a brewery. Then we met up with them at the Night Bell.
Oh yeah, that place is cool.
Yeah, it's
That
very
place
cool.
is very cool.
Very
You as a
hip,
furniture
Very
man.
hip.
upscale.
Yeah. That place is very cool. I went on a date there once. It
Mhm.
was great.
Good date spot.
Yeah, it's a great date spot. We just had dessert there. It was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a drink there, and we were just chit chatting. We chatted outside with the one girl for a while, and she man, they just had like a bunch of deaths in their family, and they're just going through all this pain and struggle, and
Typical stripper story. She's just
Yeah.
doing it to raise money for her education and her kids.
Now that you say it, absolutely.
Yeah.
It probably she's just so used to telling that story. She's like, oh, that's right. I'm not at work. I can be honest.
I'm hanging out.
She used to be she was a model, but she went to New York and pursued modeling, but she was like too country to be able to like fit into that
Didn't have
world.
the teeth for it.
Yeah, well, yeah, basically.
Or just didn't have teeth.
She basically was just like, rather than going to catch, I'm not going somewhere where somebody judges me. Fuck
Right.
that. I'll be in the park with no shoes on. Do it. And they're like, can you act like a lady? Can you be a Southern Belle type lady? Yeah. She's like, well, maybe if I want to. Type like. She was a lot.
Not having it.
I made out with her just to.
Just as
Just
a
to add-
gesture.
It was dumb of me. But
So after that place, we start walking.
Yeah, we start walking. We go
Yeah.
into this other place. It's too crowded. They didn't like it or whatever. So then we walk out and we go to this dance place.
We went to Asheville Music Hall.
Asheville Music Hall.
Which like
I don't even know
is
that.
basically converted itself for the evening into a dance club. We're talking full on Jersey techno beats happening. Fog. Every person that was under 35 from SantaCon had flooded into there. A massive dance floor, just holiday.
SantaCon. Is that what they were calling it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
It was all. Everybody was dressed up as an elf, a reindeer, Santa,
Santa,
Mrs. Claus,
Dick in the Box
and you-
Man.
Dick in the Box Man.
Yeah.
You were the only guys dressed like normal.
Not the only. There's some people who didn't
Yeah.
dress up, but there was tons.
But I would say 8 to 2.
Yeah.
Eight people dressed like Santa, 2 dressed like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we go in. Dale's like, no.
I'm like, no.
Uh-uh.
I'm like, no. This
Nope.
is not where I go to consume alcohol. This is not where I go to talk to people. This is not. I was like, I'm going down the street to the yacht club, and Kelly just keeps looking at me with this look on his face, like he just keeps nodding. He doesn't even say anything to me. So we stay,
Yeah.
and I'm like one in Rome. So he stays with the 2 girls. I go to the dance floor and dance my ass off because I'm just like, all right, if this is happening, it's really gonna happen. Like,
Right.
I'm going 100%.
Yeah.
And then they end up going downstairs to the basement dance club.
Yeah,
which
did
is
Did you,
like
even, did you even know that existed? Did you suddenly look around and like, where are my friends?
kind of. I was like, where are they? And then I think you might have told me you guys were going downstairs.
Well,
but it was like Grandpa's dance club down there.
oh yeah, it was all. And then what had
That
happened
was the
is
bad Santas downstairs.
They were all dancing really slow, like
yeah. So all the
trying to
Santa-
grind with a pole.
all the Santas came to die.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right. That
right.
was the Santa
That's
graveyard.
where the Christmas trees went to die.
And then we're just like hanging out, whatever. And then I made out with the one girl just like very briefly, and her.
Just to say you did it.
Well, you're in the moment. You're like this close to one another. You're yelling because it's the club and whatever. And it's
Right.
like we're making out, and then we start walking towards the door because her sister went outside, and she's just like, I didn't think that you were gonna kiss me, and I was like, well, I just felt it in the moment and whatever. And she's like, oh, I really thought you were gonna kiss my sister. And I was like, oh, well, because her sister was, I thought was.
Is that also an option?
Well, I did. I was like, well, I was thinking maybe we could get all of us involved.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I went upstairs. I was like, I'm not really feeling this. Clearly Kelly is. I'm going to see if he can get some kind of like hillbilly 3-way going here. And I'm going to go upstairs and get my groove on. And
So-
he didn't. He
Well, yeah,
punted.
because she was just like, well, I can just keep the information. Like I don't have to say anything about us kissing or anything like that. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. And then we went outside. Then we're back inside, and her sister's like dancing with me, and like we're talking stuff like that. But you know, then there's constantly this thing of her other sister knowing this information now that you know, I just felt like guilty, like I was hiding something, and I should have just.
You don't know these women well enough to lie to them.
Right, exactly, exactly. I really have to get to know you before I can really hide the truth from you. Comfortable, you know, but then I should have just said to her, I was thinking of this in the shower this morning. I should have just been honest and been like, I kissed your sister, and you know, because she's beautiful, right? Don't you agree that your sister's a beautiful person? Right? So then, and I'm very attracted to you too, so I would like to kiss you, and maybe we'll see where this goes. But I didn't, and then it was just like, she was a little off.
I'm a little scared that you were thinking about this in my shower, but that's fine. I didn't really need to know that.
He was quick, folks.
Yeah.
He was quick.
I was like, they sure are taking a long time to come up for breakfast.
No, I didn't make any pancake batter.
Good. Yeah, thank you.
In your shower.
Oh my lord.
I try and
professional cleaning service in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the night all went to shit when the third
sister shows up,
and she was not not feeling the vibe at all. She was like, ladies.
Yeah. She's like, fuck these two guys.
Yeah.
Like instantly. They didn't even like say hello to us. Wouldn't even look at us.
Really?
They tried to. The two sisters were like, hey, this is Kelly, you know, and she's just like, yeah, are we going upstairs? And that was it.
And had she been a part of the evening the whole time?
No.
Zero.
So she just turned up out of nowhere.
She just turned up out of nowhere.
They texted her.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh, they did. They were talking.
Yeah. Get us out of here.
What?
Yeah. I feel like this long-haired hippie Rusty.
Why wouldn't they just leave?
It's just not how they
do it.
do
It's the South, man.
What the fuck do you mean that's just not how they do it?
They didn't know you long enough to lie to you.
That's not how women do it. They didn't know you long enough to tell you the truth. So, yeah, that was orchestrated.
Really?
That's my guess.
That could be true, but they were trying to get her to come wherever they were all night, and then she finally decided. My ego does not want to say that this is even possible.
She was circling like a helicopter, waiting to come in to bail them out.
They have, you know
what women have exit plans for? Everything.
Everything.
But a relationship.
They need
but a relationship.
But a relationship?
Yeah.
They have an exit plan for every date, everything, every type of thing. They go, as soon as they're in a relationship, suddenly they have no exit strategy to get out.
Yeah.
It's so peculiar to me. My ex-wife, lived with me for 14 months after our divorce, and maybe it's not because she didn't have an exit strategy. She just wanted to make my life living hell. But
that was her strategy. How could you say she didn't have an exit strategy? She's like,
maybe you're mistaken.
I'm gonna draw in his misery as long as I can. I'm not saying it's a good strategy, but it's mine.
Right. Now I'm looking at it.
You're learning a lot today.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because it's not like here where it's just easy to move out. New York's different. You gotta
you gotta find a place.
Yeah, find a place.
Yeah, there's plenty of places to live down here.
Yeah, so it's a bit different. So that's what happened. Then suddenly it was just like, poof, all of the energy and everything that I set forth for the night was gone.
Right.
They had actually gone upstairs, and then when the sister came, they were still dancing upstairs, and then we went upstairs after, and we were dancing a little bit.
My energy kept going because I went back upstairs, went back to the dancing.
Right.
And the cutest Christmas sprite of the evening, the one that was like
so beautiful,
beating off the boys with her large candy cane all night, ended up starting to feel like the Dale a little bit, but it was time to go, unfortunately, so we left. So if you're listening, girl with the long
just put
white
it on
elf hair,
missed encounters,
missed connections, Asheville. She literally said to me, "We're never going to see each other again." And I was like, "Where's the fucking camera? Is this like, what is this?"
Just the camera starts circling around.
Yeah. And but it was mostly just you standing in the corner like this. Time to go.
He was the big sister in this.
He was. See, he's the big spoon. He's the big sister.
Yeah, that's rough.
And then that was the night we drove out here and fell asleep.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah,
it's a good story though, dude. Do you have stories like this from every city, or is this your first?
Well, this is really our first city that we're hanging out in.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every other city's been one day on, one travel day. We've been doing one-offs, but this
DC feels like it was like 4 months ago, and we've been on the road for 4 days.
This will now be the beginning of our 5th day.
Yeah.
When you do this kind of stuff, like your time is so full.
Yeah, it is.
It really
is.
You're packing a lot of life into a very few days, you know.
And not just that, work too, you know, like, I mean, we're having a blast out there shooting B-roll, like cutting down stuff in the back of the van in the production studio, but your brain is constantly going. Like, he's constantly on.
Right.
Because, like, if he meets somebody, he can't be like, fuck you, here's Dave made me do it card. Like, you got to engage people. Like, you know what I mean? There's no way, in New York, it's very easy to be alone in your little world that you've created at your apartment. But here, we're on the road, man.
Yeah.
And even when we're driving, we're doing shit. He's writing jokes. I'm editing in the back. You know what I mean? Like, we're never kind of turned off or I mean, we had a 7-hour day driving to Charlotte.
From DC.
From
DC. That's a solid drive. It's not awful though. Like 7 hours is like you're not wasted at the end of it. Like if you drive from here to New York, it's 11 hours. You're toast.
You are toast.
You know, but 7 hours, you're like, all right, I've kind of been in the car all day. I need to stretch a little bit, but I can rally.
Yeah.
But after 11 hours, nobody rallies.
No.
So
that's the drive from Vancouver to Edmonton, and the great thing is that from Vancouver to Edmonton, you go through one city.
Oh wow.
That's how
crazy.
Big.
Yeah.
Spread out it is. From here, you drive to New York 11 hours. It's like you go through city.
You wish you only went through one city.
So I always find that to be fascinating. But yeah, so that was just what happened. We were in DC for the night, so that was super quick.
Yeah.
We just ran into an old friend of mine, and we hung out there. Went to the hotel in the morning. Boom, up, and then driving. And we drove Charlotte, weird red Sweet Inn place. That was
TV bolted to the counter kind of hotel room.
So dingy.
Yeah.
Like the type of place where like, should I sleep on this bed or the floor?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
is worse?
And don't get me wrong,
That's sad.
I'm
don't get me wrong, the floor is pretty nice.
Yeah. I mean, I was grateful for the door that locked behind us, but after that happened, from then on, it was a little tough.
5 a.m, this guy was muscle car that's going off to like work whatever labor job, and all the more power to him, but just like right outside our window.
Yeah.
Right outside the window, just he wanted to start it up, warm it up or whatever, so for a good 20-25 minutes. So then he drives away, and then a housekeeping wakes up at like 8 or whatever, and they're up and down trying to get these guys to start doing construction on the awning out front.
Right.
So they're just like poof, 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 with the nail gun for the next like 2 or 3 hours, and then housekeeping's going up and down talking, and it seems like right in front of our particular suite.
That was the meeting spot.
That was the meeting.
It was, yeah.
And they weren't quiet. They were like, oh, hey, okay, so we have this room here. It was just like, hey, all right, did you do 259? Okay, good. 252, clean. And just like so loud.
Like they used to work at NASCAR. They used to change the tires. They used to yelling.
Exactly. So that was a bit of a like, well, okay, so here we go. Back on the road. We hit the awesome breakfast spot. $6 breakfast. Oh my God, loved it so much. So good.
Good
biscuits,
Southern breakfast. Yeah.
Gravy.
That was the home
Your
of the 5
pancakes
hour.
were better, but
I doubt it. But that's okay. I'm just glad you ate them.
Oh no,
favor.
Fantastic.
And then then it was on the road from there to
the Mountaineer Inn.
Yeah, the Mountaineer.
And that worked out.
Love
I always
the
wanted to
Mountaineer.
go in there.
That
I drove
place
by
is
there all the
great.
time.
Love the Mountaineer.
So
if
good.
you want to stay in Asheville, look, I'm not getting paid for this.
Yeah.
Okay? This is not a plug to product placement or anything like that, but it is $70 a night, which is great.
Yeah.
2 people, you're paying $35 each.
Uh-huh.
Rooms are huge, beds are comfy, nothing's bolted down to anything.
They trust you to leave with only what you brought in.
Yeah. The phone is actually still in the wall.
I love the story about the phone that wasn't connected to anything. It was just a phone. This is just here if you need to hit someone with it.
So we need to start swinging. And it was one of those old phones too that
that would hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This new technology, you can't hit nobody with a
You
phone.
hit someone with your iPhone. Like I'd hit you with this, but it's it's not under warranty anymore.
And it's gonna shatter.
Yeah, I can't afford another broken screen.
So, but yeah, so that place was so great, and then here.
So I want to understand this whole trip that you're doing. I mean,
Sure.
Are you, Dale? Are you working for him, or are you guys doing this as partners, or what's your?
Well, so Kelly had done the Dave made me do it last year.
Okay.
Because every winter, he lives out of the Westphalia, and he goes west because it's just warmer every year. And I'm moving the home base to Phoenix to be closer to my family. You know, I feel like I've proven myself as a video producer, editor, shooter, director, whatever it is in New York City.
Right.
And I'm going to go, you know, have a place like this.
Right.
Where you can afford
It's
space.
for sale, man. If you want this place, you have to go as far as
you
Phoenix.
know what? I was telling Kelly last night, I was like, I want to retire in Asheville. Like,
Yeah,
this it's such
not bad.
it's such a rad
By the
city.
time that happens, I don't know what Asheville's going to be like anymore. But
Well,
it'll be as unaffordable as New York, probably. But
it's just
because
wonderful.
everyone's moving here from New York, so you're gonna just be around a bunch of New Yorkers.
Well, that's what they told us.
hate
They
it.
said that, what they say, West Asheville, like a bunch of Brooklynites took up their roots from Brooklyn and opened restaurants there, and there's a lot of people from Brooklyn in West Asheville.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Little ghetto.
Yeah.
And do
Little New
you,
York ghetto.
you think, like, even out in these parts, New Yorkers coming in?
I mean, it's just a lot of people have. I mean, I'm one of them. You know, I mean,
Right.
Sure.
I moved here from LA, but I'm originally from New York. I lived there the first 9 years of my life. You know.
And what are you gonna? What about this place? You're gonna sell it and move where?
I talk about selling it all the time. No, I mean, my daughter's here. I'm going to stay here at least until she finishes high school. You know.
Yeah.
See what, I mean,
So you just downsize to something, but stay in the same.
I'm not. I could downsize now. I mean, this house has 4 bedrooms. You know, I don't need that for me and my daughter.
Right. Unless you have like this thing where you're like, I sleep in a different bedroom.
Every night.
Yeah, on rotation.
A sweet setup for that thing.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is my Monday, Friday bedroom.
Yeah. There were times.
This
like,
is my Tuesday, Saturday. You hate this because it's making you sound pretentious. You're like, oh, this is not.
No. I'm actually thinking, like, I remember when Sula's mom still lived here, and Sula moved from a crib to a bed, and then she would come sleep in our bed, and she'd crawl, you know, first on the other side of her mom, and then her mom would put her between us, and then she would put her head on her mom's chest and her feet in my face, you know, and I was just slowly getting kicked out of my own bed. So then I would go sleep in her bed, you know, and we'd all wake up in different beds than we started in. Like, this was happening all the time. So
Musical bed.
yeah, it was that was crazy. So now my daughter, she still comes into my room half the time, you know, but at least it's just the two of us. You know, I don't always have to leave. So sometimes I do, because she sleeps diagonally. You know, she's small, but she just takes up a lot of real estate.
Right, and powerful in the sleep.
Oh, I mean, the other night she spent the whole night kicking me in the ribs. You know? And I would like push her feet away, and then she's just like, she's asleep, but she's just like a heat-seeking missile. You know, she just knows where I am, and she snuggles and like on top of me, and like, Daddy, you know, I love you, and you know, and then she kicks me. You know, as soon as I'm dreaming, she kicks me. So
yeah, she's asleep.
Yeah, she's asleep. Yeah.
What do they call that? REM rep. As soon as you hit REM, it's when the kung fu happens.
Yeah, that's
you
it,
get
man.
kicked in the ribs.
Well, she must live in that state, because I get kicked a lot. So anyway, so
Kelly had come. We had started the open mic tour together. I mean, you're going to get this on the documentary when it comes out. But we look to be done editing it this spring.
Okay.
Well, I had started as the director, shooter, editor of that. He was the producer with a friend of ours, Michelle Kirby. She was also in charge of all the social media. And I had stepped away from the project after our second crowdfunding didn't get the money.
Okay.
You know, there's way more drama to it than that, which is all going to be in the documentary. But they went out and did it anyway.
Okay.
So Kelly and I were kind of on bad terms, I'd say. I wouldn't say bad terms, but it was just weird for about 9 months. And then he reaches out to me, extended the leaf, and he's like, hey, do you know anybody that would edit this thing? And I was like, you know what? I would love to get back involved with this project, because I was always in love with the idea. And then we just started seriously collaborating again. I mean, I'm talking about getting together 4 out of 7 days a week.
Right.
Him literally sitting, and I don't edit like this at all, because I believe like I have to make something, pass it along, get notes, and do it again. But literally next to me, helping me narrate the course of the cities, go through all the footage, and I was like, well, shit, man. I was like, it's gonna cost me like 2 G's to get a van, pack all my shit in it, and drive across country. I was like, I know you go west every winter. Why don't we do something like that? Why don't we like raise the production value of Dave Made Me Do It? Because he was going to do it again anyway on the iPhone.
Right.
And I was like, I'll minimize all my shit again one more time, throw it in the back of the van, and away we'll go. And that's kind of how it got started. And we got more pumped about it as we were like collaborating, you know, and figuring out that, you know, we could work together and that like respect each other creatively, value each other's opinions. And I was like, all right, man, I feel like we can do this on the road. Like, I feel like we can take the skeleton of last season or last trip of Dave Made Me Do It and really add just a higher production value to it and potentially really make it something.
Right.
And at the end of the day, no matter what happens, the only reason that I do video is so people can look back at what I've done, or especially the straightforward stuff, the nonfiction stuff, and just be like, well, that's what that was then. we're forever going to be able to watch that interview of you,
right,
and just be like, well, that's what.
I'm trying to decide if that's a good thing.
No, but you know what I mean? It's
No,
like
I'm kidding.
that's
You don't have a choice now.
yeah. Well, you're totally screwed.
This is why you need people to sign releases. Like, you really don't have a choice.
Yeah.
True.
But that's what Asheville was then, and that's what DC was then.
Right.
Like, you know, that monument changed, or this went away, and like we're creating little miniature comedic time capsules, and also informing everybody about what the scenes are in the city, which is important.
Yeah.
Because the reoccurring theme, granted we've only interviewed 4 people, but just everybody that we talk to is like how people in New York aren't necessarily informed that there's other stuff out there.
Right.
And the rest of the world doesn't know that either.
Right.
So we hope to get some traction with this thing and just do it. And also we're on the road. We're meeting awesome people like you and like the people that we met in DC, just like out there really experiencing things instead of getting on the L to the G to the N to get to 14th or 23rd Street. You know what I mean? And wasting an hour and 15 minutes on the train.
Yeah, instead of one day feeling like a week.
Absolutely.
A week.
Yeah.
Like,
or that one day of
I
life.
see what you said backwards. Instead of a week feeling like a day, because just the same day every day.
Yeah.
You know, every day feels like a week.
Yeah.
We'll edit that in post. I'll get that right in post.
What I meant to say
What I meant to say was this.
Casey Kasem. But yeah, that's I mean that thing that covered it.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it, right?
I'm just doing it to meet
Strippers.
trios of sisters.
Thanks for bringing it home.
Trios of
Thanks,
sisters.
bud.
So the tour is over. We found the sisters.
It happened a lot faster. I thought we were gonna have to do this for months.
Straight shot, Phoenix, here we come.
So is he dropping you off in Phoenix then?
Yeah, and then
so you're on your way to Phoenix now. This is it. You're moving.
this is it. Yeah.
I thought when you told me yesterday, I thought it was like not a hypothetical, but like I thought that was the plan.
Oh,
but it's
no.
actually in motion.
This is in motion. I mean, and like I have like a couple really good clients in New York. Like, you know, a couple breweries that I deal with, a couple smaller like gene companies that like I can fly back for the work. Like I've established myself enough and the jobs last long enough that I can justify going back there, you know, and the travel and the stay and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I will keep that. But it's just, you know, I mean, when you're a freelancer, there's months of nothing.
Right.
And then you piece it together with TaskRabbit or Stage Carpentry or whatever your second hustle is. And then you get away from anything creative and you just feel like you're dying in tiny increments. You know what I mean?
Second Hustle would be a great name for a production company.
What is it? Suck a hustle?
Second Hustle.
Second hustle. Yeah.
I never heard of that phrase.
No, it's true. You know,
I get it.
You
I
got
just
your
love
main
the name.
hustle.
I want to go. I want to like.
Yeah.
I want that .com right now.
Do it.
Secondhustle.com.
Take it. I'll let you keep that.
No, we'll use it. We'll share it. I'll hire you to. I don't know.
Do a second hustle.
That'll
be your.
It'll be our second hustle.
It'll be our second hustle. That's a great phrase.
Yeah. But it's true, you know, the main hustle is the video.
Yeah.
Or the
most of us, our lives are all of my second hustles have become my first hustle. Like I was an artist, you know, all these not the realistic paintings, but all the round paintings and stuff in the house are mine.
Oh, cool, those are great.
And you know, they're not my best stuff was sold. So I have just all the stuff that is the second best stuff.
Yeah.
But I was an artist for a while, and that's how I got into carpentry. You know, I was starting to support myself as an artist, and I got really into building things, so I did that for a living for a long time, you know. And then when I moved here, I got into filmmaking and the yoga thing at the same time. And even still, like, I'll occasionally take a video job just to supplement, you know, paying for everybody who works for 3 Minute Egg. You know, I mean, I went away for 5 weeks a couple years ago and filmed a 200-hour yoga training every day, just standing on my feet. Like, it was exhausting. And we're finally editing it, you know. So in a lot of ways, my second hustle has always become my first, you know.
I'm hoping for that to be the case.
For which? For comedy?
For me, well, yeah, comedy
is your second hustle.
Well, essentially, you know, as far as money making things go.
What's your first hustle? I don't really know.
Well, I made furniture. Like, I'm just really I can build and fix pretty much anything, right? So when I was in San Francisco, I got into this thing called TaskRabbit. And do they have that here?
No, I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. So TaskRabbit's an app, and you on the tasker's side, what you do is you fill out all of your information of all the different things that you can do, and then you put a rate on it. Your rate for each thing: electrical work, you know, general handyman, this and that, so on and so forth.
And can you have links to your work so I can see what you've done and stuff?
Well, you get reviews from customers on it. It would be great if there was links to photos of your work.
Yeah, I mean, especially for look at these. I connected these wires. You know,
Yeah.
look at this outlet. It's perfect. No, but I mean for
if you paint something,
yeah,
carpentry stuff, this before after stuff. I'm surprised that they don't do it. Maybe it's just too much for the database to hold all that or whatever. Yeah. So
I guess maybe they think once you connect with people, you can send them to your website or something. But,
Well, that's totally what you do.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say this, but whatever. But you just try and get off the app as soon as possible because they charge 30% for whatever happens, right? So,
oh, wow.
but somebody can go on TaskRabbit, find you, and then they pick you to do whatever task they have. And in major city areas, it's huge because people are so busy. Like I've put together IKEA furniture for people for $50 to $60 an hour.
Yeah.
You know, just because they're too busy to be doing it. So,
Yeah.
So, and it's crazy how busy I can get. Like when I was in New York, I was doing every day, 7 days a week, you know, for like 8 to 10 hours a day.
Assembling IKEA.
That's putting up shelves, hanging mirrors.
I've done that. I've installed IKEA kitchens.
Yeah.
You know, not proud of it, but I've done it.
Yeah. Cabinetry, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's essentially the money-making thing, right? And then doing comedy every night is... I'd like it to be the first hustle, but it kind of seems like the second is kind of flipping it around. And I hope that the comedy can become the first hustle, and then that's the only, and then the only hustle.
Right.
You know, is the ultimate goals. But that's why I think in being in New York, I see 5,000 other people every day trying to do this thing.
Right.
So what the fuck makes me different?
Right.
From all of that, you know, that's where this came from. That's where the tour came from, especially.
Right.
Like, we gotta get out of here and do something. And Dale and I were talking about it last night. I went too big on the production of this tour. Him and I should have just went out together first, and then we get to see what it is to travel from city to city, and then do that, and then be like, now let's bring more people with us. But you know, I'm a dreamer and an idiot, so like these two things, when they come together, you can really make some nonsense.
I built a life on that.
But I do have a theory that if you follow that, something interesting is going to happen.
Well, for sure.
Yeah. Whatever.
Failure is fascinating.
Failure's fascinating. That means our documentary's going to rock, bro.
So when you're saying, what you're referencing right now, where you went too high in the production, that's the documentary that's coming out this spring?
Yes.
That you shot
last year.
And what was that about?
So it's about 4 comics going across the United States from San Francisco to New York, doing mics everywhere.
Okay.
And shows, everything. Like we did a show in the middle of the streets in New Orleans. We did a show on Venice Beach. We did a show in different back bars, in clubs. In New York, we did one on the Williamsburg Bridge, on a rooftop. You know, just to do it in interesting different places to bring it to a public space. You know? So we did that, and then we documented the whole thing. But the way that's working out, we're kind of telling the story not only of of the actual events of the thing, but also like how
the making of it.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, what is the importance of like 2 guys thinking that they can take $20,000 of other people's money, put 7 people in a van and drive from San Francisco to New York? That sounds like a great idea.
7 people. 7
people. You
which
know?
is just
In your van?
4 comedians, 2 shooters,
and then
one of the shooters was a half-ass comedian, and then social media gal. You know?
Yeah.
And also like
Dale and I were packing up his stuff, and we were in the van. I was like,
how in the fuck did you get
7 of us?
people's worth of shit in here? I'm like, and I don't have that much stuff, man. I live lean and mean, you know what I mean? Just what I need. Like, my most prized possession is my Mac, I think, that I edit on, you know?
Yeah, because it was, in the end, it just became too much for me. I wasn't having fun anymore.
Yeah.
But, like,
and you can see it, man. Like, and that's what, going through the footage, like, the tension is, it's palpable.
Yeah.
It's out of control.
But that's part of the story. I mean,
absolutely. You know? And absolutely. And so that's the bigger part of the thing. And it's like, you know, you hit that 3/4 mark, or in the paradigm of Die Hard, the 45-minute mark, you know, where he's cut his foot, and then you kind of go back to the beginning.
Right.
And it's like, well, let's go back to the jump when everything failed.
Right.
Before we hit the road to kind of explain the first 45 minutes.
Right.
Then we're going to drop that in, and then we can kind of bring it home. So it's like, it's going to be we start with his essential exit interview.
I was gonna say, starting with like you being exasperated
in the back of his van, and just like
what was I thinking?
Tell us one good memory you have from tour, and he doesn't have any.
Right, I was gonna say, I got nothing.
He's got
and
none.
Then, boom, cut to the open sequence. Yeah, it's perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
where it's like, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, we're so pumped. Yeah.
It's like the opposite of Swingers when they were like Vegas, Vegas. Like Vegas,
Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part, where they come over the hill.
So it'll be interesting, and I'm excited to bring it to people and for them to see it. So that
I can't wait to see it. Yeah. Right, so then the next thing is to travel and screen it.
Yes.
And film that. That's like part 2 of the documentary.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Because,
Absolutely.
I mean, unless it gets picked up by a film festival or something and you don't have to do that. But I would imagine you're going to go through a phase of bringing this thing to market. And
Sure.
that I would suggest you try to document that while you're at it. If you can, get someone to document it so you can be a part of the movie.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be behind the camera for that one. But that would be really fascinating, too, because, you know, I mean, I've tried to make movies or thought about it or started them. And, you know, I got much of my life is yet to be completed. And, you know, what I think people don't know is how do they take their idea and make it actually real? You know, what's that piece of the process? Because that's something that...
It's just work. It's so much work.
It's tons of work.
Planning, work, finding the time, and you just have to do it. Because execution is all that matters.
The fact that anything actually comes from thought to completion is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah,
because there's a lot of stuff that's still in the thought half completed category.
That's why God created the universe in 7 days. After that, he's like, I'm done. I'm out. It's as good as it's gonna be.
You guys,
you work out the rest.
I didn't know it was going to be this much.
Yeah, I was like, I just saw the universe. How hard could it be to create a universe? I got some creatures. I got some mountains. You know, water, light, dark. I mean, it just doesn't seem like that
But
much
God,
work.
you're one day away from eternal peace and harmony, but I'm tired.
I'm exhausted. I'm done.
No,
I'm out.
I got to take a day. I'm taking a day.
It's the ultimate mic drop.
And one day turns into 2 days.
right.
The idea cue card comes down off the wall, and then you have the universe.
Yeah, I want to talk to my manager. I'll be in my trailer.
I'll come out when I feel like
That's
it.
it.
Yeah, oh my goodness. All right. Well, I'm really excited for you guys. I really appreciate having been a part of your project.
Absolutely.
Dude, thank you for doing it. Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you for everything. Putting us up, speaking on camera, being so articulate, giving us the insight into the Asheville scene. That's exactly what we needed.
Yeah.
And we learned so much. You know what I mean? Being here and after the interview, it was really cool to roll around town after hearing what you had to say.
Well, that's cool, man. I mean, I'm glad to be helpful. I'm glad to be a part of it. Like, I love what we are doing, you know?
Yeah.
So to be a part of somebody else's thing that we're doing is really nice for me. I still can't get over the fact that I'm the only person who said, yeah, I'd love to be in your movie. I mean, what is the matter with people?
I don't know.
But
it'll be different the next time around.
The next time you're gonna be turning people away. Once you succeed with this thing, maybe part of people are like, who's this half-wit, driving through here.
Totally. I have no clue. But, who?
Yeah.
With your what?
I've done enough. Like, I was doing a spiritual documentary for a while. We were doing a documentary on Bobby Slayton, so we interviewed a bunch of comedians. Like, a lot of people did interviews for us. It was fun. It was fun for them. It was fun for us. Being a part of something like that is great. Like, I just cannot, for the life of me, imagine not saying yes right away. Like, as soon as I saw your thing, I'm like, I'll do it.
I'm of the same personality. When somebody brings something like that, I'm like, yeah, you're doing something cool? Yeah, I'm
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
No doubt. So I think another thing is, like, you went and checked out the episodes that I had done on my own.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think other people have done that. They just see, like, oh, this person saying that they made this, I don't really care.
Yeah.
But once we have this video,
once DC gets cut down within the next couple of days and we have a little bit of proof of work, sending that forward, I think, is going to garnish a lot of interest.
Yeah.
And then Asheville will be up within the next couple of weeks. And so people are going to start seeing really what we're doing. Yeah. I mean, what they're going to be watching is about, a week and a half behind where we were.
Sure.
But at the same time, they'll see the kind of thing that we're trying to do.
That's pretty good. You'll be far enough away.
Sure.
That no one can come after you.
And
I kicked those guys' ass, but they're all the way in Texas.
We're so busted, bro. You got us. You got us.
All right.
How did they take that quote? That was the one thing I asked them to cut.
And I can go to Canada. So
yeah, right.
I can get out of here.
And pretty soon Americans aren't going to be allowed in Canada. So you're going to be so safe.
I did not mean I'm moving to Phoenix. I'm moving to LA. You can find me in Los Angeles. El Segundo.
Phoenix Street. Yeah,
Phoenix Street in
Orange County. Yeah. Oh my God. Well, listen, you guys, I appreciate your taking the time. I know that you need to get on the road, so
dude,
thanks for doing this.
Our pleasure.
We're easily manipulated by pancakes and a place to
that's
sleep.
good to know.
Yeah.
I knew we were going to have this conversation.
Yeah.
So I was like, we got to record it.
Yeah,
perfect.
Oh my God, those guys are hilarious. That's the most fun I've ever had in a three-way conversation. If you like what you heard, please visit our website. Use our Amazon portal and rate us on iTunes. Make sure you tell your friends about us, and if you feel so inclined, please consider making a donation on our donation page. That way, we can keep failing for years.